Hello, my name is Connor and I'm here to tell you about one of the most infamous conflicts to ever face Australia. That's right, I'm talking about the Great Emu War. Yes, our country has not faced many conflicts on its land, but rather than another foreign entity, we decided our most formative combatant would be the humble emu. Humble, yes, because they can't fly and are our national emblem, but on the other hand, they are surprisingly deadly. The second largest living bird, being up to 2 meters tall, they can run up to 50 kilometers an hour, can go for weeks without food, and their main weapon is to kick you with their large claws. Of course, the perfect enemy. This all started in World War I, as many veterans were offered land in Western Australia. Along with their economic troubles caused by the Great Depression, approximately 20,000 emus migrated into these newly cultivated pastures, finding it perfect habitat for their needs. Not perfect for the farmers, unfortunately, whose crops were devastated by the birds. They formed the idea, along with the Minister of Defence, Sir George Pearce, that there was only one solution: machine guns. And so it was in late 1932 that the Royal Australian Artillery took 10,000 rounds of ammunition to deal with their newfound nemesis. The soldiers immediately sighted 50 of their targets. As the birds were out of range of their guns, the local settlers attempted to herd the emus into an ambush, but the birds split into small groups and ran so that they were difficult to hit. The first attack did manage to hit about a dozen, but this incurred their wrath to grow exponentially. Days later, over 1,000 emus proceeded to ambush them at a dam. Only another dozen lives were taken when they scattered suddenly. The soldiers moved south, realizing each mob of emus had a leader who would keep watch while the rest rained their terror on the farms. They then tried putting the guns on a truck, but the emus were faster. By the end of the first week, they only spent 2,500 rounds of ammunition, with the numbers of the birds culled ranging from about 500 to only a few. An ornithologist of the day quoted thus: "The Emu Command has evidently ordered guerrilla tactics, and its unwieldy armies soon split up into innumerable small units that made use of military equipment uneconomic." The major in charge compared his foe to the legendary Zulu warriors of southern Africa and said that they could face any army in the world. Of course, these comments didn't deter them, and so they took to the battlefield once again in a second attempt, which found mildly more success, only expending 10 rounds per kill, saving what little wheat was left. The news came to the attention of the media, local and in the United Kingdom, with many criticising it and calling it a failure. Despite the problems faced by the military, farmers asked several more times over the next few decades for assistance, but the government turned them down, knowing what they stood to lose. Bounties were still being paid for these criminals' hides up until the 1960s, but under the Biodiversity Conservation Act of 1999, they are now protected, thankfully. And so to this day, emus are widespread across Australia and not classed as endangered, unlike so many other native species. So there you have it, the story of one of the most deadliest conflicts faced on Australian soils. That is, apart from our most ever-prevalent foe, who has faced biological warfare and the largest fence ever built: rabbits!